Newscast.
Good evening. I am Tashwan Tyson. In with you via NMedia News Package for today, Monday, 4th February 2019. In our lead stories. Nationally, register of voters and monthly list removed from public places after posted by Electoral Office. And St. Kitts and Nevis and San Marino signed visa waiver agreement. Regionally, a daddy to be deported to Jamaica after 41 years in the United Kingdom. Internationally, EU states recognize Guaido as president of Venezuela. And in sports, New England Patriots win 6th Super Bowl title. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back. Another national news in detail. Supervisor of Elections here in St. Kitts and Nevis, Mr. Elvin Bailey, is urging persons not to remove the annual register of voters, the monthly list for January, and the revised monthly list for December 2018, which have been posted at 2 public and conspicuous places within each polling division of each constituency. According to Mr. Bailey, the list was released on Thursday, 31st January, as required by law.
The lists are there for the public to be educated and to be informed about who have been registered. And that is the basis on which objections and or claims for corrections, transfers, etc. would be made. And by law, the lists are to be put out at a certain time and should remain posted for a period of time. We've been putting them out, and the very day that we are putting them out, a lot of them are being taken down.
Mr. Bailey is also reminding persons that removal, destroying, or defacing of these documents is an offense, punishable upon conviction according to the National Assembly Elections Act, Chapter 2.01, by a fine not exceeding EC $500 or a period of imprisonment not exceeding 2 months, or both fine and imprisonment. In related news, Supervisor of Elections, Mr. Elvin Bailey, says the production of the national identification cards have been temporarily halted.
Part of our equipment that inserts the security feature on the cards came to the end of its useful life, and so we have to get it replaced. It has to be fabricated, and so the company that is dealing with it says that they will require a certain amount of lead time. So we're advising people that the card will not be available, just the card, but that the registration will continue. When that is rectified, persons will pick up their cards.
Supervisor of Elections, Mr. Elvin Bailey. The permanent representative of St. Kitts and Nevis to the United Nations, His Excellency Sam Condor, signed a visa waiver agreement with His Excellency Mr. Damiano Belifi, permanent representative of San Marino to the United Nations, to grant visa-free access to nationals of both countries. The brief ceremony took place in New York at the Permanent Mission of San Marino on 1st February 2019, where the permanent representatives further discussed areas for bilateral and multilateral cooperation. According to the agreement, holders of diplomatic, official, and ordinary passports are permitted without a visa into the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and the Republic of San Marino for a period not exceeding 90 days within a 180-day period. This step to further strengthen bilateral relations came shortly after the 2 countries established diplomatic relations in September 2018. San Marino, landlocked within Italy, is the 3rd smallest state in Europe and one of the smallest in the world, with a population of 35,000. Similar to St. Kitts and Nevis, tourism and banking are two economic activities that drive the San Marino economy. 22 civil servants who were successful in passing ISO 31000 certification exams are now certified internal controls risk analyst CICRA. They received their credentials on Friday, February 1st during an award ceremony held at the National ICT Center in St. Kitts. In July 2018, participants had to go through a series of training on the ISO 31000 Enterprise Risk Management ERM, a program implemented by Certified Information Security out of Florida, United States. The training and workshop session provided a thorough overview of ISO 31000, as well as setting out advice on implementation of an ERM initiative. Certificates of achievement were also distributed to the 15 public servants who attended the January 30 to 31st, 2019 certified ISO 27001 Lead Implementer and Internal Controls Architect Training and Certification Workshop. The training prepared participants to be eligible for professional certification as certified ISO 27001 Lead Implementers and Internal Controllers Architects who can effectively manage the threats and risks to government information by establishing Information Security Management Systems, ISMS, based on international standards. Airline passengers should always adhere to security and safety procedures to ensure hassle-free travel. So says Senior Civil Aviation Officer within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Aviation, Royston Griffin. According to Mr. Griffin, one such procedure is the 311 liquid rule, which states that each passenger must carry liquids, gels, and aerosols in travel-size containers that are 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. Each passenger is limited to 1 quart-size bag of liquids, gels, and aerosols. Common travel items that must comply with the 311 liquids rule include toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, lotion, and perfume. According to information from www.tsa.gov, the 311 liquids rule was implemented as a result of the August 10, 2006 incident when authorities in the United Kingdom arrested a group suspected of planning to blow up a large number of airplanes bound for the United States and Canada using a sports drink and other chemicals to make an explosive cocktail. In the aftermath, the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, banned all liquids and carry-on baggage in flights leaving from or going to the United States. After rigorously testing liquids, the TSA implemented the 311 rule in September 2006. Nevis joins the rest of the world in observing today, Monday, 4th February, as World Cancer Day. Each year on 4th February, World Cancer Day empowers persons across the world to show support, raise collective voices, take personal action, and press their governments to do more. The theme for 2019 is I Am and I Will, all about your story and your commitment. The Ministry of Health and General Affairs in the Nevis Island Administration invited persons to wear one of 26 designated colors to support those experiencing, living, and surviving cancer. In observance of World Cancer Day 2019, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, has released a message entitled, Healthy Choices and Early Detection Can Reduce Your Risk of Cancer. The message reads in part, adopting healthy lifestyle choices can go a long way toward reducing cancer risk and the associated personal and financial costs. Prevention measures include avoiding the use of tobacco, limiting alcohol use, keeping a healthy weight, being physically active, and eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Participation in screening programs is strongly encouraged for the prevention of cervical cancer and early detection of breast, colon, and rectum cancer, and being vaccinated against and hepatitis B and the human papilloma virus, HPV. CARPHA says it remains committed to working with key partners to reduce the burden of cancer in the region. St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris will lead a Caribbean Community CARICOM delegation to Uruguay for an international meeting on the ongoing political situation in Venezuela. Harris, who is the CARICOM chairman, will be accompanied by his Barbados counterpart, Mia Mottley, and the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. The governments of Mexico and Uruguay have called for the conference on February 7th with representatives from the main countries and international organizations that hold a neutral position towards Venezuela. The purpose of the conference is to lay the foundation for establishing a new mechanism for dialogue that, with the inclusion of all Venezuelan forces, will contribute to restoring stability and peace in that country. Last week, CARICOM leaders met with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres in a bid to get the world body engaged in the Venezuelan situation. CARICOM has maintained a non-interventionist position regarding Venezuela and has offered to act as an independent broker. The Nevis Island Administration is moving to develop greater traffic at the island's lone airport, the Vance W. Amory International Airport. The airport, which was officially opened in 2002, has in recent times seen a decrease in the number of flights to the facility. Premier Honorable Mark Brantley disclosed that the Cabinet has considered a proposal from a company called BNL Worldwide Limited to a hub facility at the Vance W. Amory International Airport.
That will entail an arrangement where the facility is leased to this entity, and that entity will have responsibility for construction and upgrades and development. And I think that we will hear more about that in the ensuing weeks and months. But we are at the final stages of those discussions with them, recognizing that we need transportation, and transportation links are critical if we are to develop the island.
Honorable Mark Brantley. Premier Brantley, however, is encouraging persons to use the airport despite what he says are difficulties being experienced.
Truth is that the flights are there, they are available, and we can connect people through San Juan, we can connect them to St. Martin, we can connect them to Antigua, and many choose not to use the flight. You can't have it both ways. You cannot choose not to use the airport and then criticize the government saying the airport is dead. I think that we have sought to do our part, which is to have a facility which is safe, facility which is regulated. We have brought the flights at great cost and expense to the taxpayers of the country. And when we don't use the flights and they fly empty, we still have to pay. So I'm inviting our people to use the Trans-Amity Airport.
Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Plans for implementation of Technical Vocational Education and Training Enhancement or TVET program are progressing. Contracts to begin construction at secondary schools as part of the TVET enhancement project were signed in St. Kitts on Friday 25th January at the Ministry of Education's conference room. The signings took place between the Permanent Secretary in Education, Mr. William Hodge, and Mr. Michael Bino of Bino Rowe Wiltshire Partners Architectural Practice from Trinidad and Tobago, whose company was granted the work for St. Kitts, and Gilbert Fontenard from the FLD Consulting of St. Lucia, who will work the Nevis end of the project. The event marked the end of the project's development phase following years of planning, preparation, vetting, and reviewing of bids from firms. As part of the TVET enhancement project, rehabilitation work and, in some cases, erection of infrastructure will be done at the TVET labs at the high schools on both islands, with the exception of Bastyr High. The facilities at the Advanced Vocational Education Center, AVEC, will be expanded to provide both additional classrooms and lab spaces. Both representatives from the contracted firms agree that their joint experience will deliver a product that meets the expectations of the users and one that is also of the highest quality. And finally, in police news, Police have charged 34-year-old Kimberly Liebert of Mansion Village, St. Kitts, for offense of inflicting grievous bodily harm on a juvenile which was committed in Mansion Village on January 21, 2019. No details on the incident were provided. Meantime, police took the second illegal firearm for the year into custody on Friday, February 1st, after it was found during a stop-and-search operation. The operation occurred on the outskirts of Sandy Point and involved a vehicle. During the search, a shotgun and 4 matching cartridge rounds were found. The 2 occupants of the vehicle were taken into police custody. That's it for our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio. And our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
Home. It means something different to everyone. It's a place you love, a place as unique as you are, a place where you can be yourselves, a place for life's big surprises, and not to mention the small ones. Moments to cherish and moments that last a lifetime. It's a place for nurture and a place where you can grow together. It's home. So whether you're building, purchasing, or renovating, the Bank of Nevis is here to open the door, giving you the confidence to dream and the help you need to get there with a mortgage loan from the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. A dad who has been earmarked for deportation back to Jamaica after moving to the UK aged 4 says he will now have to bring his kids up via Skype. Owen Hazley, 45, has been living in Britain for 41 years and was given the right to remain there. But after serving a short sentence for assault in 2015, his status to legally remain in the UK has been ripped up. He is one of 50 people with Jamaican roots who are due to be deported on Wednesday and flown there on a plane dubbed the Convict Flight by a Jamaican national newspaper, The Gleaner. Owen says the government has given him the choice of flying his children over or speaking to them online. He says he has no family in Jamaica and hasn't been on the island since he left as a toddler. Owen moved to the UK in 1977 with his mum, who was a nurse, and was given permission to remain with no restrictions. He was convicted in 2015 of domestic assault and spent a year at HMP Risley. Owen was then told by immigration he would need to apply for the right to remain a UK resident and was arrested while signing on at an immigration center in Salford on January 25th. The bodies of 28 drowned Haitian migrants have been recovered off the coast of Bahamas, officials say. It comes after operations over the weekend by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, RBDF, rescued 17 survivors. A boat that had been transporting the migrants sank 6 miles off the coast of Marsh Harbor in the Abaco Islands to the north of the country. Since the beginning of 2019, 300 Haitians have been caught trying to illegally enter the Bahamas. The RBDF says that about 6 boats carrying 80 to 90 migrants often arrive at one time. The migrants are usually intercepted at sea and transferred to the Immigration Department, from where they are often deported back to Haiti. Since the devastating 2010 earthquake, 60,000 Haitian migrants have been granted temporary residency in the United States. President Trump announced he was ending the program in 2017, but this has been repeatedly challenged in court. And finally, out of the British Virgin Islands. The Office of the Supervisor of Elections has informed political parties and candidates that nomination day will now be held on Thursday, February 14th and not on Monday, February 11th, as was previously announced. In a press release issued on Friday, February 1st, government stated that Governor Mr. Augustus J. U. Jasper issued the writs of election on January 31st, which are formal instructions issued in accordance with the Elections Act. According to the writs, the governor appointed Monday, February 25th as polling day and Thursday, February 14th as nomination day. Supervisor of Elections, Ms. Juliet Penn, stated that the additional time is being provided to allow sufficient time for candidates to make declarations in accordance with Section 66 of the Virgin Islands Constitution Order if deemed necessary. In accordance with Section 26 of the Elections Act, on nomination day, candidates will be required to complete Form number 15, which will be provided by the returning officer, and they have to be nominated by at least 2 registered voters of the electoral district for which they seek election. That's it for regional stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. The United Kingdom, France, Germany, Spain, and other European countries have officially recognized opposition leader Juan Guaido as interim president of Venezuela. It comes after President Nicolas Maduro rejected the EU's Sunday deadline to call snap elections. Mr. Guaido declared himself interim leader last month and won U.S. backing. More in this report from the BBC.
Slowly but surely, international pressure on Nicolas Maduro is growing. European powers had given him 8 days to promise early elections, but his refusal to do so means that many are now formally recognizing his opponent, Juan Guaido, as interim president. The British Foreign Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, said the United Kingdom considered Mr. Guaido as Venezuela's constitutional leader until credible elections were held. In a coordinated move, ministers from Germany, Spain, France, Denmark, Austria and Sweden issued similar statements. A Kremlin spokesman accused them of meddling in the internal affairs of Venezuela.
Scientists say rising temperatures will change the color of the world's oceans, making them more blue in the coming decades. They found that increased heat will change the mixture of phytoplankton, or tiny marine organisms in the seas, which absorb and reflect light.
Microscopic phytoplankton play a hugely important role in the oceans. As well as turning sunlight into energy, they also impact the way we see the colour of the seas. If there's more of these creatures in the water, we see the ocean as more green than blue. When there's less of them, as scientists believe there will be over the next few decades, then the seas appear more blue. Researchers say that while space-based sensors will clearly see this bluer planet, we will probably not notice the change with our naked eyes, unless there's dramatic warming by the end of the century.
And finally, a body has been seen in the wreckage of the plane which was carrying missing footballer Emiliano Sala, the UK's Air Accidents Investigation Branch, AAIB, has said. The AAIB said it was considering its next step in consultation with the police and families of Sala and the pilot David Ibbotson. Underwater searches using specialist vessels uncovered an object of interest on the seabed on February 3rd, according to the investigators. A remotely operated vehicle surveyed the area and, based on the analysis of the video footage, investigators concluded that the object was wreckage from the missing Piper Malibu aircraft. In a statement issued today, the AAIB said the remotely operated vehicle, ROV, carried out a further search of the area overnight but did not identify any additional pieces of wreckage. Tragically, in video footage from the ROV, one occupant is visible amidst the wreckage. Salah, 28, and the 59-year-old Ibbotson were flying in the single-turbine aircraft from Nantes in northern France to Cardiff in Wales when it disappeared from radar near the Canal Islands on January 21st. The Argentine striker had recently signed with English Premier League club Cardiff City for a reported £15 million from French club Nantes and was heading to the Welsh capital after saying farewell to his former teammates in France. That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Hello?
Yes?
You know when I call you, there's something happening at TDC, right?
Tell me quick.
The TDC Home and Building Depots are showing us love in February. All month long, they're promoting their heart-healthy products. This includes gym equipment, juicers, blenders, yoga mats, and so on. Plus, every Saturday, you can get your free in-store heart-healthy checks done.
Really, girl?
Yes, and keep fit every Tuesday afternoon during their heart-healthy series at the TDC Clubhouse on the Frigate Bay Road. Culturama, body in progress.
Well, I don't want to miss out, so we must go by TDC Home and Building Depot this month.
Welcome back. Another sporting detail. The New England Patriots won their 6th Super Bowl title on Sunday by beating the Los Angeles Rams 13-3 in the Super Bowl 53 at the Benz Stadium in Atlanta and launching Tom Brady and Bill Belichick into a different stratosphere. They have now extended their record for the most by a head coach and starting quarterback combination. With the win, the Patriots are tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the most Super Bowl titles in NFL history. Brady now has won more Super Bowls than any other player in history, surpassing Pro Footballer Hall of Famer Charles Haley. At 41 years old, Brady is also the oldest starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl, eclipsing Peyton Manning, who was 39 when he won Super Bowl 50. Belichick is the oldest head coach to win a Super Bowl at age 66, and no head coach has won more Super Bowls than him. Now he joins George Halas and Curly Lambeau as the only NFL head coaches with 6 championships since the league began postseason play in 1933. And finally, in cricket. In the 6th round of matches in the West Indies Cricket Championship, which concluded last weekend, Jamaica Scorpions beat Leeward Islands Hurricanes by 1 wicket at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. Scores: Leeward Islands 204 and 142, Jamaica 190 and 160 for 9. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force beat the Guyana Jaguars by 93 runs at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. Scores: Trinidad and Tobago 108 and 317, Guyana 150 and 182. And Windward Islands Volcanoes beat Barbados Pride by 8 wickets at the Kensington Oval in Barbados. Scores: Windward Islands 470 and 34 for 2, Barbados Pride 253 and 250. That's it for sports. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back. Another local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight will be partly cloudy with a 40% or a moderate chance of showers. Weather tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a 50% or moderate chance of showers. Winds are east to southeast at 6 to 13 kilometers per hour or 3 to 7 knots. The winds could also become variable or near calm at times. Seas do not exceed 1.5 meters or 5 feet. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:42 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Monday, 4th February 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, register of voters and monthly lists removed from public places after posted by the Electoral Office. And St. Kitts and Nevis and San Marino sign visa waiver agreement. Regionally, a daddy to be deported to Jamaica after 41 years in the United Kingdom. Internationally, EU states recognize Guaido as president of Venezuela. And in sports, New England Patriots win 6th Super Bowl title. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson wishing you a pleasant evening.